Our hopping mountain climbers are a core and cardio move designed to get your heart rate up, primarily working on the muscle groups in our core, our abs, hip flexors, as well as our quads, calves, shoulders, triceps, and chest as secondary muscle groups being worked. Setup position for this is going to be in a kind of a high plank position with those hands and wrists directly underneath of the shoulders. Straight line from the heels up to the head. Then we're going to start with one foot up next to the hand. So I'm going to start with my right foot up, set it down next to my right hand as close as I can get it. I'm going to hop, and as I hop, I'm going to switch sides. So I'm going to drop my right foot back as my left foot now comes up towards my left hand and stops on the ground. And then I'm going to switch back. I'm going back and forth, keeping my abs nice and tight, not letting my hips dip down when they land, but keeping them engaged throughout that entire movement. Biggest difference on these compared to a normal mountain climber is the fact that my feet are actually coming into contact and resting on the ground. If you've done a normal mountain climber or watched our mountain climber demonstration video, you'll know that for a mountain climber, we're in the same general position, but we're just bringing those knees up towards the elbows and not actually setting the feet down on the ground when we hop forward and back. So that's the primary difference. Everything else is pretty much the same. By having this increased range of motion, hopping those feet back and forth, you're going to create a little bit more demand on the body. This is typically one that is going to get your heart rate up a little higher, a little faster than a normal mountain climber is. Therefore, a modification to make this easier if you're not ready yet is to downgrade back to a normal mountain climber to where you're not hopping those feet back and forth and instead just bringing the knees up towards the elbows. Most common mistake on these, just like with a normal mountain climber, going to be hand positioning, not having those wrists and hands directly underneath those shoulders, but instead maybe having them too far out like a push-up position, or maybe having them too far forward to where our head is now back behind our hands. We want to make sure those wrists and those hands are directly underneath those shoulders at all times. My head is not facing my feet. I'm not looking down at my feet. I'm looking right in between my fingertips. And again, I'm keeping those abs nice and tight on each movement. So I'm not dipping down like this every time and increasing that strain on my low back. I'm keeping my abs tight so that whenever my feet land, my abs are already tense to absorb that force between each move.